Welcome, everyone, to the September edition of the Michigan Trails Report. I'm your host, Tom Funk. And in case you're new or bumped your head on a tree branch, I am the author of 50 Hikes in Michigan's Upper Peninsula and 50 Hikes on the North Country Trail. I'm also a group moderator and or expert on a bunch of your Facebook hiking group pages. And yes, once a month, we talk about the current status of Michigan trails, trail magic, hiker trash, and even give you a heads up on trail conditions and the status of the various reservation systems like recreation.gov. And as always, I'd like to thank our sponsors. Our headline sponsor is the Hiker Hostel and Resale in Germfast. The hostel will open full-time in 2026. Catering to outdoor enthusiasts, they will cater especially to North Country Trail backpackers. That's pretty cool. Subscribe to their Facebook page, Hiker Hostel and Retreat, Germfast, for updates. Oh, and thanks to my friend Adam Main for providing the bumper music. Adam is a musician in Kalamazoo, Michigan. So let's fade out Adam as we get ready to start the Trails Report in earnest. And as always, I complain about fighting with technology, but here we go! Alright, Trail of the Month. Hey, it's September. Labor Day. The start of to what I consider the real hiking season. I don't know what it is with you guys that, as soon as the snow melts and there's still patches of snow on the ground, you want to drive and go backpacking someplace in like March. That to me, I'm just like, no, I like this nice, cool fall weather, no bugs, not that many people on trails. The trails have all been maintained. It's a great time of year to actually go hiking and backpacking. If you can get vacation time in September and October, man, I'm telling you, this is the best time. So anyways, we're going to head up to Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore. And if you're short on time, this is a great hike. Because this one delivers big rewards. Empire Bluff. Now, this is about a 2-mile round trip, depending on how you measure. It's classified as a scenic view trail because it has a great outlook over on Lake Michigan and the Manitou Islands. Now, there is good parking there. It's just south of the village of Empire. It's paved. Although it can fill quickly, especially on those weekends with those sunsets. So no standard fees above your National Park entry pass, and lots of information there at the trailhead. And you don't need to be an elite hiker to tackle this path. It rolls gently through mixed hardwoods, open fields before leading you to a show-stopping overlook. So you're going to walk through a canopy of beech and maples. It's well-maintained, nothing too steep, family-friendly. You'll want good shoes since there's some sandy patches that can make the footing a little slippery, but you see a lot of people with Crocs and sandals and stuff. So along the way, you're going to catch glimpses of farmland, and you're going to be able to see the inland Glen Lakes through breaks in trees. But the real payoff, well, that's at the end. A wooden boardwalk and viewing platform perched high above Lake Michigan. I'm telling you, this view is jaw-dropping. Turquoise water stretches endlessly to the horizon. You see the Manitou Islands rising like shadows offshore. And you can see the dunes towering to your left and to your right, north and south along the lakeshore. This is one of those rare hikes where the effort to reward ratio is completely in your favor. Quick word of caution, if you got little kids, these bluffs are steep. They're rooted and riddled with trees and sand and rocks. There's no safe way down to the water, so keep your kids close. But hey, you'll get plenty of photo-worthy scenery without going anywhere near the edge. The sun actually sets right along the islands during summer, so if you get there on the right day, it's a spectacular sunset, great for photography. So keep that in mind. Great trail to hike at Sleeping Bear Dunes. All right, now another slow clap for our closure count. So we have a lot of trail closures and campground closures still. Bad news is we have more this month than last. But the good news is it only went from 50 to 51. And additionally, well, some more bad news. The ice storm page is still up and running, which means there are still trails that are being cleared up there months after the storm. So, and last month, you may recall, I went over closures starting in the fall. If you missed that podcast, you'll want to check it out. It's insane how many campgrounds are closed through the fall and going into 2026. And this month, I decided that I would cover all the closures slated to start in 2026. And, here we go. Let's wait, look at that. It's blank because, well, there may not be any closures next summer, but they certainly hasn't listed any yet. So take that as good news that they have not announced any 2026 closures as of yet. I remember last year at this time, they had a whole bunch. I think that pot of gold may be finally running out to getting all these parks fixed up. But anyways, if you want to check it out yourself, Michigan.gov, go to the DNR page, click on About, and then click on their newsroom and find the closure page. So you're going to find, all kinds of information there to help you plan your future hikes. All right, Trail Tribe, grab your trekking poles and your flexible expectations. It's time for your North Country Trail update, where we tell you what's going on with the trail closures and stuff like that. So if you're a regular visitor, I'm going to skip over the long-term closures. If you're new, well, go back and listen to our past podcasts. And you can find all this information on the North Country Trail website. If you go to their map planner, you'll see these little orange icons with an exclamation point in it. Just click on it, and it opens up, and it tells you information like Copper Peak Road in the far western end of the Upper Peninsula. Copper Peak Road between Black River Road is closed due to the construction of the Copper Peak Phase 1 project. Follow Black River Road during this time. Another new one, Larks Lake Road to Palmer Road. This is up in the Petoskey area. Due to the spring ice storm and current logging operations, most of the trail between Larks Lake Road and Palmer Road is still impassable. Use Larks Lake Road, Robinson Road, and Palmer Road as temporary reroute, and you'll be able to find that by using the Avenza map or the downloadable maps. Let's see. Smoky Lane to Chatterton Road. Due to the spring ice storm and current logging operations, most of the trail between Smoky Lane and Chatterton is impassable. Follow Smoky Lane and Chatterton Road as the temporary 2.8-mile reroute. Holy cow, you guys. So down on the North Country Trail west of M37 in Wexford County, well, get this, a sinkhole has formed and has closed road number 12, which is a way to get to the trail, so keep that in mind. I was actually up in that area visiting a relative, and that was our road we had to cut through to go between a couple state highways. It added a half hour, 45 minutes onto our trip. It was the detour up there is insane, so keep that in mind. I would reference a local map to get around that. It must have been a 45-minute detour. It was ridiculous. Anyways, down in Kent County, Fallsburg Historical Society, that's at Fallsburg Park. They have rerouted the trail in the area, but still follow the blazes there as the maps get updated. So that's pretty much it for the changes on the North Country Trail. It's holding its own, and especially check out the ice storm map, because that's going to have a lot of trail closures in some of the state forest campgrounds and stuff like that. All right, time for hiker trash. Hey, I love it when somebody finishes all of Michigan's North Country Trail miles. It's over 1,100 miles. And how do I know that? Well, I've done it myself. So, let's see. Barbara Cook and her son Chris finished all of it. And it didn't say where they finished, but does that really matter? Because I finished my miles back in the day near Cedar Springs. And, it's, not all section hikes are contiguous now, are they? So congratulations to Barbara and her son Chris. North Country Trail 100 accomplishments. Candace Matusak. She said, I came full circle today and ended where I started January 1st at the Warner Creek Pathway. Nancy Bill Darga finished up their 100-mile challenge and had our new root beer float in Manistee. Didn't say who she was with, but she was her last hike was the 9-mile bridge in Pine Creek, out and back, mile marker 819 to 827. And Liz Ozlowski finished with an unidentified dude, and she did not identify the location for her where she finished her North Country Trail 100 miles. However, there are several clues in the photograph. One being the name of the trail doctor is on a sign in the background, and it is none other than my good buddy Jim Bruce, and which means that's Chief Noonday Chapter. And if you look really close, you see a lake. It looks very Yankee Springish, Hall Lake-ish, so that's where I think it is. Tell me I'm wrong. And James Harrington, he finished his 100 miles along Lake Superior shoreline between the mouth of the Mosquito River and Miners Castle. And our E.J. Drugel tracker, he is north of 276 miles. So let's give them a hand. Congratulations. Keep it up. This is the time of year, I'm sure. It's a kind of light on the number of people who are finishing. I think what happens is people start early in January and they get their 100 miles in pretty quickly. Then you get the people who start in the spring and they kind of take, I think these people take a little bit longer and they'll be finishing up in in the fall. And then usually in December, the January report has a whole bunch that finish in December. So keep that in mind. If it seems a little light to you, I think that's why. All right, there has been a lot of talk lately about several unfortunate events surrounding Michigan's dams. And, of course, we've had the breach of the Edenville and the Sanford dams back in 2020, and all of a sudden the state of Michigan is up in everyone's junk that owns a dam. Now, I'll be the first to say, if a dam isn't actively generating electricity, if it doesn't have a Lloyd's of London insurance policy or a $1 billion bond on the structure, take the stupid thing down. Most dams in Michigan are 100 years plus old, and a lot of these are not being maintained. So take care of it or get rid of it is my point. Well, another one that's come into the news recently in the Upper Peninsula is the Autrain River and the dam that holds it back in the central Upper Peninsula. Now, this used to be owned by the electric company and was sold to a private company that does not have a pot to piss in. So the dam is deteriorating at a rate that is causing concern with the locals up there. Now, this particular dam is actually two dams. The north end of the impoundment is where the dam is that everybody's concerned about. And the water flows through a hydro plant and over the top to the north and empties into Lake Superior. Now, here's the interesting part. There's an impoundment at the south end as well, as the water naturally at this end wants to flow south. So the powers that be created a berm at the south end to create this massive body of water and prevent the water from flowing south. Now, how can this be, you ask? Well, the south end of this impoundment is actually in the Whitefish River watershed, whilst the north end is in the Autrain River watershed. So Autrain flows north to Lake Superior, Whitefish flows south to Lake Michigan. Now, at one time, you could paddle between the two watersheds without getting out of your canoe. And this was a major Native American waterway back in the day for those that didn't want to mess with the straits at the eastern end of the Upper Peninsula. And also for those without a canoe, there's a 50-mile portage between the mouth of the Autrain and Rapid River on Lake Michigan. And you can even hike that trail today, as it is known as the Bay de Noc Grand River Trail. If you want to learn more about that, I have a podcast. Look up in the table of contents. You'll find it, and you can learn about this trail in Portage. Check it out. All right, trail friends, it's time to shake things up like a squirrel in a granola bag. We've had this new segment going for several months. I call it the North Country Trail Chapter of the Month, and today's chapter is the Baw Beast chapter. And they have the section of trail that begins north of Litchfield at the Calhoun-Hillsdale County line. And it's farming trail, and it's farming country, I should say. And it's a little bit more rolling. And Litchfield is the chapter's first official trail town. It has a kayak campsite along the trail just north of Herring Road. And it also utilizes the Bob Beach Trail, created by the city of Hillsdale and the connector with its close neighbor, Jonesville, and goes through tiny but growing Osseo. Now, their signature hike is the 7 miles passing through the Lost Nations game area. It's in the Pittsford area. The south entrance to Lost Nation is the west off Pittsford Road. It's moderately hilly, consisting of eskers and moraines left by retreating glaciers. And this makes for, a wide variety of wildlife habitat, striking views, and it has multiple crossings of the fledgling Jordan River. Not that Jordan River up north, but Jordan River down in Hillsdale County. So, hey, you can meet the chapter and help them out on the second Saturday of every month at 9:30. They're going to meet this month at September 13th. They're going to meet at the M34 Osseo Hillsdale Trailhead parking, and they're going to do some trail maintenance. So let's thank the Bob Beach chapter for maintain the trail. Thanks, guys. All right, so events. We haven't talked about any events recently, and right now I'm currently at Addy Hex, and this is Asia's largest outdoor recreation hunting gun knife show. Now, I know that's a bit far away for most of you, so maybe it's time to announce when some closer events are taking place. Well, our favorite is Quiet Adventure Symposium, and that's going to be February 28th. That's a Saturday, and it's at MSU Farm Bureau Pavilion in East Lansing, or Michigan State. We have the previous weekend is Outdoor Rama, which is February 19th through the 22nd, and that is at the Suburban Collection Showplace in Novi. And then in mid-March, March 13th through the 15th, at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin, you have Canoecopia, and that is a very cool event to check out. So make plans for those, and don't go away because we're going to be doing the reservation report. All right, this episode of Michigan Trails Report is brought to you by MichiganTrailMaps.com, home of high-quality trail maps, downloadable goodies, and the kind of detailed books that make you the most prepared hiker in your group chat. So, if you're still not planning ahead, welcome to your firm reality check. So, first off, some Pictured Rocks news on July 21st, 2025 at 10 a.m. Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore backcountry camping permits. They are now releasing on a 6-month rolling window. So you don't wait until January 1st to make all your reservations for September. You can only make them 6 months ahead. It's just like with the state parks. So they're on a 6-month rotation right now. So I have to tell you, though, if you're still thinking of going someplace in 2025 and you haven't made your backcountry reservation by now, the outlook is not good. The good campsites like Coes, Mosquito, Chapel, they're booked almost solid through the end of the month. And Saturdays are slim pickings right now. Grand Island, you can make a weekday adventure, but Saturdays are almost booked solid through the month. Sylvania Wilderness, head on over there. Plenty of openings, but you'll notice they are starting to open up some non-reservable sites starting September 15th due to lack of demand. So that's a great place to go. So heading over to our state parks, Michigan, midnrreservations.com. You can also do 6 months in advance. Backcountry camping is open still. Book 6 months ahead. But you'll want to look very closely if you're thinking of still trying to squeeze in a trip this fall. Over at Craig Lake, you're mostly able to put together your desirable itinerary. After Labor Day, though, availability does increase, except for the most popular sites, and Saturday the 13th is slim pickings currently. Porcupine Mountains, you are pretty much out of luck determining where you want to camp on the days you want. So from now until the 25th, you can piece something together, but expect long walks in the park between campsites. After the 25th, through the fall color season and mid to late October, entire days are booked solid. And there aren't many sites available until after leaf peeping season, which is technically winter. Over to Tequamanon Falls State Park, backcountry sites are mostly booked, but there's at least one site available each day, except for September 26th, which is full. And Isle Royal, let's head on down to the Rock Harbor Lodge. Now booking 2026. Get on it, because if I was a betting man, I'd say that lodge would be full for 2026 by the end of the month. Look for an announcement at the October Trails Report. So, there you have it. If you wait till the last minute to book your trip, you might end up hiking from the parking lot to Disappointment Peak. So don't be that person. Book in advance. Leave no trace, number one. Plan and prepare. Please do it. It's good for everyone. All right, weather report. Wow, we went from me complaining about, oh, God, how hot and humid it is, to, hey, we're looking at a significant cold snap coming with highs struggling to make the 60s, but it'll warm back into the low 70s, so sounds like perfect hiking weather to me. And check those drought maps. As wildfire season is upon us, we don't want it to have happen what happened in Nova Scotia. So please, 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 please be fire wise. And let's see here. Hey! There we go. I hear bumper music. Yeah, I still fight with technology. Let me tell you. Hey, so, you enjoying the content? Although my stats show many hundreds of listeners, about 10% of you subscribe. So if you don't mind, please click that subscribe button. Otherwise, if you don't, I'm going to sneak into your house and I'm going to poke holes in your cookware. And to find all those various Facebook pages, groups, and things like that, just go to tomfunk.net. It's all there. Again, thanks to our sponsor, Hiker Hostel and Retreat, Germfast, and thank you, Adam, for the bumper music. And thank you to everyone who's purchased a book in the past year. You can buy them at Amazon.com, major booksellers like Barnes & Nobles, or at tomfunk.net. And as always, a quote to end the show. Walking is a man's best medicine. Hippocrates. All right, thanks, guys. See you next month.